Okay, Susan from
Hello.
St. Francis, correct?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, excellent. How long you been there?
Since 1979.
Fantastic. Holy cow. That's fantastic. Yay for you. You must love it.
Oh, yes, I do. I've seen many changes.
Oh, you have to for that much. Yes, I would agree with you. For that much time? Absolutely 40 years or so? Holy cow, that's fantastic. So, question for you. When the pandemic, when you first heard of the whole COVID thing, when was it and what was your reaction?
Oh, it was right after maybe January. So I
Okay.
started looking it up and I thought, I was looking at the weather and everything, and I noticed there were a lot of fog all through the state. And it's like, well, that's strange. So I thought, well, maybe this has something to do with it. Well, then nothing came of it. So then I realized this is real, and I didn't like how the president then was downplaying it.
I agree.
And I thought, okay, I was making masks, and my mask, they were made out of not just two pieces of material, but I layered mine because I thought this is real. And
So hang on. So you made your own masks?
Yeah, I made my own cloth mask because that's what we were wearing in the beginning, and
Okay.
Out public. So mine had a little slice in the back of it, so you could put like paper towels or whatever for extra protection.
Fantastic.
So I realized it was getting a lot worse when everybody started passing away. So I took these shop vac towels, the blue ones, and I folded them up to fit nicely in there. So I was wearing like 9 layers of protective.
That's fantastic.
Material.
Now, what month was this about? What month was this?
Oh, this must have been about March when the lockdown started.
Okay. Did anybody get it? It's in your little world or at St. Francis? Did anybody get it at that time?
No, but one of my relations in Florida had posted on the internet that he had got it, and him and his wife had got it in, I think, July. And they said they were going to start living their life to the fullest if they ever recovered.
Wow. Holy cow. Okay, so now we're in March. The lockdown starts, and then how the lockdown affect you?
Well, it didn't really affect me any differently because I'm kind of like a homebody that doesn't really go anywhere.
Okay.
I used to until I started having car problems back in the December before, so I was kind of getting used to staying around this area.
Understood. Okay.
So then at work we started wearing. They said no more cloth masks. They said you have to start wearing medical masks.
Mm-hmm.
Well, then they started checking us once a week. But once they started that, they kept finding people positive. So when other people more and more started being tested positive.
This is at work. Yeah, this is at work now, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So more people are positive at work. All right, and then what happened?
We had to be tested twice a week.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and still to this day, we're being tested twice a week. Which, after the weather yesterday, I forgot to get tested, so I had to make a special trip in there today to get tested for yesterday. So we'll get it again on Friday.
Okay. So when you got tested twice a week, did the number of cases go up?
Oh, yes. And then after employees started testing positive in the nursing, then the residents started getting tested.
Okay, now what month are we in now? Are we in July?
Oh, no, we're in December.
Okay, so when did the double testing started when?
Probably in maybe December.
Okay. All right, so during the summertime, everything was okay then?
Yeah, we're just being real cautious wearing our mask.
Did you allow visitors in though in the summertime or no?
Um, I believe so. Yes, we did. I don't remember what month we started where we in my department, we had window visits
Yeah,
where they were on one side of the window and we are on the other.
right. My mom was the same way. Yeah. We did that. We started that, I think, in April or May. Maybe it was in May. We did that. Like I see my mom the same way.
Uh-huh.
She's at a nursing home in east of Cleveland.
Uh-huh.
So, okay. So now that starts in the summer. Okay. And then?
And then this went on for quite some time. But once it started where people started testing, and then there came a while where nobody was negative.
Okay.
Everybody was negative. So they did and then we had back when the lockdown started, we had to sit people 6 feet apart.
Like for dinner and everything. Holy cow. How many residents do you have there?
There's 100 and some probably throughout the building, but where I was, there's like 22.
Okay, so dinner time was 6 feet apart. How do the residents handle that when they were told
And
they couldn't be next
they
to
were
people?
only allowed, there's 8 tables and we were allowed 1 resident per table.
That had to be confusing for them, wasn't it?
Well, it's like the dementia unit. So
Yeah.
you try to keep those people apart as something. And they didn't understand why they had to wait their turn to eat.
Yeah. Oh, that had to be tough. Oh,
So we had to
seriously.
take chairs out of the lounge area and put them 6 feet apart too.
Oh, wow.
So if everybody wanted to sit there, then we had to sit people also in between times in the dining area, so they could look at each other or whatever.
Now, could the residents wear masks at this time? Or were they wearing masks or
No,
not?
the only time our residents wore masks down in our area is if they had to leave the unit therapy.
Okay.
And so
So in the summertime, we got window visits, and then let's say September, October.
then there was nothing for a while.
Okay.
So they had to come into the front office, main area, and they had to make appointments throughout the whole building. Each family had to make an appointment to come and see their resident.
Okay.
I think it was a 15-minute visit.
Yeah, we had the same thing. Yep, I remember that.
So then we still continued testing, and then everybody started coming down with it. So
And that was in November? That was November or December?
Yeah, around November, I believe.
Okay, who got it? Who got it first, residents or staff?
Oh, no, the staff got it.
Oh, that'd be heartbreaking.
I think it started like with the kitchen, and then they were all healed, and then for a while nobody had it, and then maintenance had got it, and then nobody got it, and then when nursing got it, they started checking all the residents.
Okay, and then what happened? We're in December now, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, the residents started testing positive. And I don't know about other floors, but in our unit, even though they're 6 feet apart, they all came down with it. Almost everybody came down with it.
How many in your unit?
About 22.
Okay.
All of them but one had it.
Wow. How fast did that take?
So then they moved our residents off to another floor, to a COVID unit upstairs. So
Okay.
that left just one nurse and an aide down on the unit, the lockdown unit, Alzheimer's unit.
How many?
And that was awful because they were bringing residents down to us too. Switching floors with all these residents.
Oh my gosh.
Well, then other floors got it. So they brought all our residents back down. So ours was the COVID unit.
Yours became a COVID unit?
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
And it was awful because we were being tested twice a week. And every day I went in, I knew I hadn't had it. And all my coworkers were getting it. All but I think 2 people, me and 2 other girls, hadn't got it. That I worked right beside.
Okay.
And every day we went in, it was like playing Russian roulette.
It
And
had
then
to be.
when we started wearing N95 masks and gowns and gloves and goggles or a face mask or a face shield.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so I wear glasses, so I had to wear my glasses over top of my goggles. Otherwise, they would keep falling off of my face.
I wear glasses too. I had the same thing when I wear goggles at my lab, so I know what you mean. How fast
yeah,
we used to,
we bend over, our glasses would fall off.
I
on
know.
our face.
how fast did it spread when you said once one resident got it, then everybody got it? How many days or weeks was that between the first
Oh my
one?
gosh, it wasn't even probably a week and a half.
Seriously?
Yep.
Holy cow.
And they were getting checked twice a week too, and everybody just started coming up positive.
What were their symptoms? I mean, how when they said you got it, they got tested, but did you know they got it before they got tested? Could you tell they were sick?
Well, some had a runny nose, but that was it on some of them. Some were irritable, and I just sensed every time somebody was going to be positive, I could just tell it. I don't know how, I could just feel that they're going to test positive.
Here's a question for you, Susan. Was it when you had, because my mom's got Alzheimer's, and one of the symptoms that she had it for about a month, and she, my dad died December 19, and she never forgot that he died. All right, there's never a question like, where's dad? Never a question about that kind of stuff. But when she had it, I got phone calls 20 times a day. Where's my husband? I'm supposed to pick him up. Where's he at? Did you notice with your patients, was there a memory lapse? I know they're Alzheimer's patients. I know that.
Oh yeah. I honestly think it affected everybody's mind differently, but it affected their minds.
Yeah, I mean that had to be very difficult to have to deal with that as an aide. As a nurse, it had to be difficult because they were somewhat normal one day, and then
some of them, when they were bringing them back downstairs from their COVID unit, they made ours a COVID unit, and all the floors are becoming COVID units. And it was so sad because you could see before they got this, they were independently walking, and then as time went on, they were 2 total assist to transfer. Then they were in bed, and then that was the end of them.
Seriously?
Yeah. And that could have been all in a matter of a week to 2 weeks.
Wow.
Which was sad because I hate to say this, but the beds didn't even get cold before somebody else was put in there.
No, seriously. Oh.
Yeah.
So how many did you lose?
Oh, quite a few. I think, if I'm not mistaken, they said since December 25th to the end of January, I think there were 30.
Oh my gosh.
Don't quote me, but yeah.
What's normal for a month?
Oh, not very many.
Like one every other month?
Maybe 1 or 2, maybe 1 if that.
So 1 every other month, let's just say 6 a year, and then you're losing 30 in a month.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
30 in a month and a half, yeah.
That had to take a toll on you.
Oh yeah. You're not supposed to have favorites, but I had some that they were my favorite.
And when they got it, you knew they were gonna, I mean, how many did, this is all foreign to me because I'm not, you're living in a world that is so different and tragic. So if I ask stupid questions, forgive me, okay? But when you knew somebody came down with it, let's say they're your favorite, and how did you had to feel terrible wondering if they're going to make it or not?
Oh yes, I did, because they had changed so differently.
And for years they were, I mean, you've been there for a long time. So for years they
Some of
were,
them became so mean. Yeah,
oh,
it all
wow.
affected their minds differently.
And their loved ones couldn't come there to see them before they passed, correct?
Only if they were put on hospice. If the family decided they should go on hospice, then the family could come in to visit them.
Okay. That happened how many times? Like half the time or a fourth of the time?
Quite often.
Okay.
Since January, or since like December to January.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I've never seen so many people going on hospice.
Wow.
But that was the only way loved ones could come see them.
Now, is that in your wing, or where hospice means that when they go home? What
Oh
do they do?
no, that's throughout the whole building. That
Okay.
if you're put on hospice, they're allowed to.
Okay.
The family's allowed to come in and see them.
Which means you just essentially just let them. You're gonna let them pass.
Yeah.
Were they on ventilators, or how did that?
Oh no, we mostly just oxygen.
Okay.
Whatever, hospice is just like the end of life. So.
Yeah. So when you had all these people come down with
Nature.
it in this fast, and they were, essentially almost one a day that you were losing.
Mhm.
I mean, I can't comprehend it. I'm just like, I'm so. How did this, as a staff, how did you guys handle that?
It was sad.
What'd you guys do to try to keep yourself from going crazy? Like there's no end in sight.
Uh-huh. That's exactly what it is. It's like just something, And then after, well, we've all got our vaccines now, but
Right.
still, even though we got our vaccines, I am afraid to even go in there. I get a sick feeling every time I'm tested, thinking, what if I turn positive? Because nobody knows about the vaccines,
Sure.
how long they're going to.
When did the rapid rate of death stop? I mean, when did you realize that, okay, we didn't lose somebody today? Because at one a day, I mean, you come in there every day thinking, who's going to die today?
Yeah, that went on for a while, probably like till the end of January.
Then you came in one day and said, okay, no one died today, and the next day you said no one died today.
Yeah, that's what we'd ask. I'd text one of my friends and say, "Did we lose anybody?"
And
like when I'd have 2 days off, I'd text her and say, "What's going on? Did we lose anybody?" And she'll say 3 or 2 or 3 or however many it was.
Holy cow.
But what's funny, because if they would text me a room number, old to know room numbers. I only know them by name.
Yeah. Well, you get that close to them, you're going to. Holy cow.
Yeah.
Okay, you had mentioned before, wow, I have a hard time comprehending that. I really do. I can't imagine when you've chosen a career of helping people and you get to know them and you love them and they love you back and everything else. Like I know that, but my mom's in one. So I know. And then all of a sudden they all get wiped out immediately.
Yeah. See, because when I went, I used to be a restorative aide, but then they did away with that. So they said, we're going to give you a choice. Where do you want to work? And I said, I want the Alzheimer's unit because they walk independently. But there's hardly anybody there's a lot more wheelchair people now since they had COVID.
Seriously?
It's like they've declined that much.
Wow. So when they recover, I mean, was there a number of days that you had when you realized, okay, they had it, if they made it past this time, they're going to make it? Or did you see any information?
No, I still wonder, if there's still people that are going to make it. I mean, they're not bad, but you can see how much they've declined.
Yeah, and the recovery is so hard when you're that old.
Mm-hmm.
especially when they're, they were walking fine. Next minute they're in a wheelchair.
Yeah, yep, you're off a day, you come back and it's like.
Oh, and they
there's
got to be
somebody
upset. They
else.
have to be
They're a
upset.
two-person assist now.
They've got to be really upset. The residents must be upset at that because they were fine one minute, and the next day they're in a
More
wheelchair.
like the residents' families
Yeah.
were upset. Yeah,
Wow.
but some of them did FaceTime with them, during this whole lockdown.
Yeah, I did that with my mom all the time. We do it twice a week. And she's doing great. I love her to death. So you had mentioned before that you have a routine that when you protect yourself, like with the masks and the shop vac towels and everything else.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Share that
I
with
still
me.
do that to this day out in public.
Okay, so share that with us if you don't mind, because we have no idea. All I wear is a mask. Okay, and I'm
going to tell you one story.
Tell me.
It was everybody, it was active COVID cases out there, and I go into a gas station here in town. I open the door, me without a mask on. Some guy, or the cashier, has her mask down below her knees, or her nose, and I says, I don't know what made me do it, but I just screamed out loud. You people, I work in a COVID unit, and I never seen this guy run out of the store so fast.
Oh.
And the cashier put up her mask. So I was getting gas, and I pushed my $20 to her. She didn't want to touch it.
Seriously?
Yeah, because she thought there might be COVID on it.
Okay, so did you get gas for free, or she didn't?
No, she finally did take it.
I would have said, heck, I'll give you the gas for free, for crying out
But
loud.
when I walked outside, the guy was on the phone talking to somebody. So I'm sure he probably told somebody, I just was near somebody that works in COVID.
You became the plague instantly. Oh my God, I met somebody. Oh my God, they exist.
Yeah, and still to this day, when people are not at their distance from me, I'll tell them, I get tested for COVID all the time. I might have it. And that makes them really back up fast.
I can see that it has to, because you have that.
And I'm that type where I'm not afraid to tell somebody, chances are I might have COVID, even though it was vaccinated. I don't tell them that. I tell them,
Well, it shapes them up pretty quick, that's for sure.
Oh yeah. It makes them realize, oh, Tiffin does have it. Like the cashier at Walmart. She says, I don't know anybody who has had COVID yet. And I says, well, I do. And I work with them.
And you've seen them pass away.
Yeah, I didn't tell her that, but I said, yeah, I work with them. It's like all my coworkers, but two other ones and myself. And
this is one reason why I'm doing this project, because I want people to realize that it's out there.
Oh yes, it is.
And if we don't see it or know somebody in it, then we think it's just some kind of government hoax or something.
Oh no.
And it's critical for them to know that.
Let me tell you, it's real. I've seen it. And I'm going to tell you, I was one skeptical on getting a shot when they first mentioned shots. And I said, I'll probably quit my job before I get a shot. I said, I don't care how long I work here. If they were going to make it mandatory. This is back when they first started talking about the vaccine.
Yeah.
Well, then it hit where I work. And I said, I want my shot. I kept saying, how soon are we going to get our vaccines? How soon are we going to get our vaccines? Because of playing Russian roulette.
Yeah.
Every day you're going in there, am I going to have COVID?
So you went from essentially from March till December, mid-December, or let's say early, without any cases, right? Or November?
I would say the middle, or right after Thanksgiving is when it all started.
Okay, so you went from March to Thanksgiving without one single case.
Oh no, we had cases, but they were like contained to certain areas.
Okay.
Certain different departments other than nursing.
And when did residents come down with it? After the nurses got it?
Right after Thanksgiving.
Wow. And it went through that fast.
Oh yeah, it went through real fast.
So is your unit still a COVID unit?
No, they only have one on another floor.
Okay, so the cases now have, well, they passed away, but the cases now
Well,
have
we
dropped.
don't know. We don't know if there's any cases because the state says you don't need checked until so long after they've had it.
Oh, so you have no idea if someone's positive or not right now.
That's right. Yep. Even though some people have been tested, the residents and a lot of employees decided to get that vaccine, just like me.
Right.
And so if they could have COVID right now, because they're not getting tested, and neither are employees who had it after they've had it. I think it's 3 months.
So you have to wait 3 months before you can test somebody again to realize if they got it or not?
I think it is after they have had it, yeah. 2 or 3 months. You have to wait to start being tested again if you had COVID.
Okay, so the big change though, the big improvement, let's just say, is that the death rate's gone down, right?
Yes.
All right, so that's at least some kind of positive. I mean, the people who passed away pretty much have passed away. Is there anybody else in that, let's say, COVID breathing unit or whatever you want to call it, that's in critical condition right now, or no?
I don't think they have anybody in the COVID unit right now.
Okay, that's good. That's encouraging anyway. So it just went through and did its damage.
Yeah, yes.
Wow.
But we don't know what it's going to be like in another 3 months for employees that didn't take the COVID shot.
Yeah. What would you, when someone looks at your painting or your artwork in the gallery exhibit, what would you want them to take away from it? What would you want them to feel or sense when they see your artwork?
That they need to wear their mask. They need to believe in COVID. They need their vaccines.
That's critical. I appreciate that.
Because, like when I'm not working, I have my other family I have to deal with.
Yeah.
Their health isn't perfect. So there's times where I would come out in the country and I'd have my brother cooking for everybody because I was afraid I would have COVID. And all I could think of is infecting everybody.
Oh, that's be terrible guilt trip feeling like that.
Oh yeah. So even out here in the country, when I get close, I put on a mask because I can't take chances of my family, something happened to them. I would never forgive myself.
I didn't think about that.
That's how rapid this spreads.
When you've seen the effect of it firsthand, like you've seen it, as fast as it can happen.
Yes.
Then you don't want that to happen somewhere else, the people that you care about and live with every day.
Right. Or even in public.
Yeah.
I would feel so guilty if I knew there was a chance I had COVID and passed it around because I didn't stay my distance or I didn't have my mask on.
That's such a critical thing to say because people don't realize that.
But when Dr. Fauci says to mask, I say, yes, do it.
Well, I'll tell you something. Doing this project has really helped me understand it a lot more. And I'm so glad.
People don't realize how fast it spreads.
Yes. Your example is just amazing to me.
Yeah. All but one had come down with it. And like, oh, that's sad.
Wow. Well, I'm going to make sure.
I'll tell anybody, if you get that chance to get your vaccines, do it. And still continue to wear your mask. Because you don't know from one moment to the next who's positive.
Well, I'm going to make sure that the artists, when they get this recording, that it's going to convey to them. That's the critical thing about it. Truly. Susan, your courage is just amazing.
But yeah, I said, yeah, I'm one that, I'm telling you, I didn't think I was ever going to take a vaccine, but once I seen that spread so fast through there and the deaths that we had, I wanted my vaccine and I wanted it immediately. And then when I got the one, I said, I'm ready for my other one. And now they said, well, a third one might come out for a booster. I said, let me know. I want it too.
Fantastic.
Because that's how contagious this disease is.
Now, everyone else in your facility then feels the same way, I'm sure, because they've seen it firsthand.
Oh no. There's people that'll say too, wow, if I test positive, I get 10 days off.
Oh my
Me,
gosh.
on the other hand, saying if I test positive, I've infected the community. I infected my family.
That's the way you have to look at it, not the 10 days
Yeah.
off. Wow. Well, I'm glad that you feel the way you feel, Susan, truly. And I appreciate all the effort you put in, and I appreciate the pain that you suffered.
Yes, I says, yeah, it's bad when you have your, ones you're really close to, and it's like, you think to yourself, okay, well, like with one of my favorite ones, even though I'm not supposed to have favorite, I never thought that person would die of COVID. Never crossed my mind. I thought, when you think of somebody in the long run, I thought maybe he would have fell and broke his hip.
Yeah.
And, not recovered. Not that he would have got COVID and died like that.
Wow.
But that is a sad death.
Well,
To see what they, from going in, walking independently.
Yeah.
We have to transfer this person, and then, they're not allowed to get up anymore. And then that's the end of them.
Then they're done.
Yeah.
Well, two groups are going to get.
When Dr. Fauci says wear 2 masks, I said wear 2 masks.
Two groups are going to get the story. Okay, one's going to be an artist, a professional artist. The other one's going to be a high school senior or junior artist. Because I want to try to convey this pandemic to a younger generation as well, as an assignment.
They need to wear their mask.
Exactly, and I teach high school as well, and so I make sure.
Okay, I'm going to tell you one thing. My daughter, she works with special needs over in Fremont, and maybe I've came close to her 6 feet apart, maybe 5 times. I told her, I don't want to get near you because you might have COVID, and I don't want you near me because I might have COVID. So maybe 3 times I would be close to her, and that was it. We do FaceTimes. I would feel so guilty if I gave her COVID and she passed it around to all her clients.
Oh yeah, I can see that. Wow.
And I didn't want near her because I didn't want to be the one to bring it into work and spread it around.
Yeah. And you live with that every day. You live with that.
Yeah, every day.
Day.
Yeah.
The fear of that. Oh my gosh. Susan, thank you so much for conveying all this to me. This is fantastic. I appreciate your empathy, your compassion, your intelligence, and your drive to make sure that no one gets it. And that's a lot of weight on your shoulders.
And that's what everybody in Tiffin, everybody in the state of Ohio. And I'm going to tell you, and any anti-mask wearers, make this public to know, any anti-mask wearers, if you don't want to wear a mask, go either get a job in a COVID unit or go live in a COVID unit, and we'll see how fast you change your mind.
That's a great idea.
And that's what I wanted to tell our governor of Ohio too.
That's a great idea.
Yeah.
Line them up
So
and,
they
and
can
have,
see for themselves and see how fast they change their mind.
exactly, exactly. That's a great idea. I'll make sure that gets conveyed to people. I'm gonna bring that up. Okay.
Yeah.
Susan, thank you, thank you, thank you. This was so enlightening. This is so tremendous. I'll let you know when the artist gets the recording, and then I'm looking to have all the artwork done by the end of April. And then we'll unveil them all at the Tiffin Art Guild. Do you live in Tiffin or do you live outside of Tiffin?
Oh, no, I live in Tiffin.
Okay. The Tiffin Art Guild's downtown, so we're gonna have all of them unveiled there about the end of May. I'm looking at end of May, first week of June, okay?
All righty.
Perfect. Oh, bless
Okay,
you,
thank you.
Susan.
Bye.
Bye-bye.